welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get into the first elimination match, best of 3, between Fnatic and CLG Gaming. The winner advances to face QG. The loser is knocked out of the tournament. If you guys want to keep track of exactly how the results are going, who's winning with what champions and what scores, check out the Score Esports app. It is available on iOS and the Android Play Store. Go check it out. It really is useful for information on the go. Let's take a quick look at the bracket so you can easily visualize what I have just talked about. SK Telecom have advanced as the #1 seed through Group B. It's not a gigantic surprise to anybody, but they really put on a good showing against QG Reapers, and I will figure out if it will be EU or NA to take on China for the chance to join SKT tomorrow in the playoffs. Welcome back to Expert Desks. Mithy has been kind enough to stick with us for the remainder of this BO3, and Dexter is rejoining us once again. What's up, guys? Welcome to the desk. Let's start by talking about the teams. It's Fnatic, it's CLG Gaming. Fnatic will be on blue side for game 1, CLG blue side for game 2. What's your take on Fnatic in terms of their overall performance? I know you were watching the game with us a little bit earlier today, so what do you think of Fnatic?
They only played a best of 1, so it's hard to judge them for just one game, because it can go either way, you know. But the way I see it is, I think Fnatic is much better than what they showed on the first game. I'm sure of it.
Okay, much better than what they showed on their first game. They have been struggling in the EU LCS. Do you think a lot of the scrims or the training coming into IEM is part of the reason that you feel that way?
Yeah, I think Fnatic is a very structured team, and they improve a lot week by week. Find their weaknesses, try and work on them. So I think they're going to put a good showing against CLG.
All right, we'll see what they say. It's a long time since Dexter and CLG have been said side by side. But what's your take on the American squad? I know you were watching some of the games with us yesterday.
Yeah, CLG, I think, is a really consistent team, but I feel right now they're like slowly improving week by week, and for me, it's like the most consistent team at what they do. They like have a very structured style. They know what to do, and in terms of strategy, they look really good, but I think their skills ceiling is like not as high as, for example, Immortals. So that's why I can't really put them above them right now. But I think coming into this tournament, I mean, many analysts said that like they're like an A-tier team, like really good, maybe behind SK and SKT, and maybe they can even win the tournament. But I don't know, like best of 1s really don't mean anything, and I think it's really important to see how they can adapt in the series, in the best of 3. Because I know their picks and bans and adaptation should be really good, like from experience, because I know the coaching stuff, I know Tony, like he's doing like a really good stuff for the team, and yeah, I think it's really important to see how they adapt between games.
So I've got a question for you, Dexter. Earlier today, Darshan ran Poppy top. It caught a lot of us by surprise. You know, I was expecting the split push style, I think a lot of analysts were, and they come in with this team fight comp. Coming into a tournament to try and pull that 180 in a surprise, do you like that kind of strategy?
No, I think Darshan is like one of the best split pushing people in the LCS, and I think he has this style for like 3 or 4 years already, that he's like really good at split pushing. He knows when he has to back off, he knows when to call his team, he knows when to buy time in like a split pushing scenario, and I think they should just stick with it, because put him on like a split pushing champion like Jax, Fiora or whatever, and he's gonna do fine.
The way I see it, I think it's beautiful that he's trying to change styles, because at the end of the day, it's a best of 1. It doesn't really put them off the tournament, and now is the real thing. I think that the advantage that CLG has over Fnatic is their champion pools, and the fact that they can play tank stop, they can play split pusher stop. For example, Afromu plays Bard. I've seen Udyr in the jungle too. I mean, I don't have a case study on CLG, but I know they have a very, very wide champion pool, and I think that's gonna
help them out.
Help them out a lot, yeah, especially in a best of series.
Well, we're about to jump into picks and bans. The very first ban from Fnatic is targeted towards Darshan, that Fiora. That's not a surprise. The Kog'Maw followed by Bard towards Afromu. These are going very quick. Nautilus as well.
Aren't the bans of SKT?
Yeah. Is there anything else that you're expecting when you look at these two teams and knowing what the strengths are? Maybe Dexter?
I mean, I think Bard is like a really good champion if you can play him, and the biggest problem with Bard right now is most supports didn't really put in the effort and hours to get like really good at that champion. But if you do manage to get good, it can change like games really hard, and it's like one of the best champions of Afromu, so I think target banning like one of their most consistent players, and their shot caller limits him in his playstyle and like strategy.
As a support, Mithy, do you think that's fair? I haven't logged the hours as Bard.
I think it's fair to say, but I mean, I have played a lot of Bard. I just never played it.
That's why I'm asking. I'm trying to be a bit rude here.
But I just disagree completely with the. I mean, the ban is fine, because if you haven't played against good Bards, maybe my Bard experience was pretty bad. You know, I don't know, but it's a respect ban. I like that, but Kalista ban on blue side. I think Reckless was good on Kalista. I think last game was just unlucky, so I don't think they should have banned Kalista on blue side. I prefer Kalista over Gragas. I just
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like it.
I really like Kalista here, and I think first picking Gragas is fine in that scenario, how the bans turned out, because Nidalee is banned, and that matchup is like a really good matchup right now. Both champions are being played, and Xmithy is actually pulling the Udyr. I mean, Udyr is like a champion where you can farm, you can split push, and he has shown that he's really good in the LCS on it. He knows like how to zone, how to back off, and I think they can just play off well of like the Udyr. So
what's an answer to Udyr? We know Xmithy likes to build that ZZ Rot. He ran it twice last week when he took down Immortals and Cloud9. Looking at Fnatic and the way they play, how would they answer this comp that's already very comfortable for CLG?
Kite. You want to just kite against Udyr. The main problem is with Udyr is that he has a lot of priority over the enemy jungler because he can duel him. And I think usually CLG constructs Udyr with a strong top laner. They can gank and 2v2 with, because Udyr has strong 2v2s. So I think that's kind of CLG's plan right now with their last pick, probably for top lane. And they also, if they have studied Fnatic a bit, they will know that Gamsu likes to play a lot of tanks, although he played Graves last game. Maybe it's to confuse the enemy, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
Gamsu likes to run tanks, run Graves.
But I think that the whole strategy of Udyr and strong split pusher top is probably what they're going to run this game, for CLG at least.
I mean, we'll find out. Fiora's off the table. Darshan's not played a lot of Quinn. He pulled out a Pantheon in an ALCS. Is that because it's NA, or do you think Pantheon top can work?
I think it's because of Huni, and Huni is NA now, right?
Right.
And I think it's just kind of how it was in Europe too, where he just like pulled champions he would destroy everyone with, and everyone is like, I guess we just have to copy this champion and play too, you know? There's no other way around it, so I'm guessing that's kind of how he's working on NA with Pantheon too.
All right, we'll see what Darshan and the rest of CLG decide to lock in. Dexter, Lulu is available, made it all the way through to this third or fourth rotation.
I think Lulu is fine here because it also amplifies Udyr's like power play in the team fighting, because Udyr is all about movement speed, and if you buff him up and give him more shields, and especially with the item build Xmithy is running, stacking more health on the Udyr is gonna make him unkillable, because he's going for like full resistances like ZZ Rot and split push threat. So actually CLG can teamfight with his comp very well, because they have like a really good front line here already. And I think it highly depends on how the top lane plays out and what they pick right now. But right now, I think they didn't really give too much away, and they probably should just...
They still have this strong 4-man unit, the Lulu, the Ezreal, the Udyr, and they're gonna have this, like I said before, the strong 2v2 on bot lane with the last pick counter pick for top lane. That's basically what CLG is aiming to do on purple side. It's kind of how they play. It works for them.
It's pretty similar to the team comp that beat them earlier today. SKT ran Lulu, Ezreal, Braum. They had a Trundle top and Nidalee jungle. You know, a lot of those key components are available to them, and Trundle is up and available if Darshan wants to go that route instead of a more carry type jungler.
I do think that Fnatic...
Okay.
I don't understand Fnatic's champion. What?
Let's quickly jump into this. First and foremost, if this Corki's for Febiven, which is going to be, that's only the second time that he has played it professionally. And this will be a first time Rammus for Fnatic. We're seeing it in EU a few times. You've played against it as well in some of the teams. What's your take?
I think Ramos' laning phase is quite weak, so that's not really gonna play a good part in what Darshan is gonna pull off now with the Udyr. But Ramos overall is very strong in the fact that he's super tanky. When he presses W, he does a lot of damage, and his CC is tremendous. His 3-second taunt, yeah, that's crazy, and he can just run around everywhere in the map. So he's a good top laner. I really think.
Well, weak laning phase means that Darshan's Vladimir will be very comfortable. Dexter, what do you think of those last two picks?
I mean, we talked about Vladimir yesterday as a blind pick, but now it's like being specifically countered. I mean, it's fine because you stack a lot of magic damage, so Ramos can't really make fully function of his kit. But I think it's fine if you pick Vladimir into such a weak lane, because it gives him all the time to just scale up and be a split push threat. That's, I think, what CLG aims to do. The good thing about Vladimir, though, is he can work both ways. He can work as a split pusher in the game until he has his 3 or 4 items, and then he can just join teamfights and completely destroy teamfights. So
his flanks are also good. I mean, he has no CC, but he has just a lot of damage.
Well, gentlemen, give me a brief prediction after some curveballs in picks and bans. Mithy, who do you think is going to win here and why?
Okay, so I think it's just I'm gonna say the whoever wins early is gonna win, right?
Okay, that's fair.
Because that's how the meta
and
is
who
right
do you
now.
think will win?
I think CLG might have this game.
Oh, going against Europe, scumbag. Dexter?
I mean, the way CLG plays, I think they have a very clear idea of how to use this Vladimir, because they counter it. And I think CLG is going to win. They're just going to take, like, it's fine if the game is going slowly, because the longer the game goes, the more effective Lulu and Vladimir get. And if Fnatic doesn't crush early game, I think CLG is just going to take it.
Well, there we go. Both analysts and experts feel that CLG will take this first game in the series. We're going to head to the casters, and while we do, have a quick break.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. I'm Noah, that's Deficio, and that's Monte Cristo, and we're about to go into Fnatic versus CLG. Our first best of 3, our first elimination match. The loser is going home.
Yep.
How about that?
They sure
rough
are.
when you say it like that. But yes, loser will go home. Another EU versus NA. Yesterday, NA won.
Luckily, you know, it's not too far from Germany for Fnatic, so
That's
have a
true.
nice, easy ride.
1 or 2 hours, you know, then you're back home.
It's not
A few more
bad.
hours, but whatever.
It's not bad.
Jokes
Not bad.
aside, we were arguing about this comp. I actually really dislike CLG's team composition here, and I'm so happy Fnatic picked Corki. I'm so happy.
They got it last rotation. I actually expected CLG to pick it away earlier, but they wanted the Lulu instead. And it's become a bit of a split push with ZZ, Rod, and Vladimir, but then also have to go into team fights because you don't really have a way of finishing the game through split pushing.
Well, ZZ run, huh?
I just don't see with CLG what their goal is. They are so eminently kiteable. You have Vladimir and Udyr, two of the most kiteable champions. Uh-oh, Summer's Rift freaking out.
Whoa! Welcome to Summoner's Rift, if we survive the intro anyway. And it looks like CLG versus Fnatic is about to begin. Fnatic already moving a little bit into the enemy jungle, maybe for a ward or two. Spirit, face checking, but getting wrecked. Taking a lot of damage right now. Spirit's in a little bit of trouble, has to burn that flash. And that's not a bad start for CLG already.
Kind of strange level 1 from Fnatic. Normally you would just fan out super quickly and the other team would then do the same and you can like see them walk through the river.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, wasn't
Clearly
it?
Spirit has been walking around in his own jungle, delaying when he actually got to river, and that's why he got caught out and no flash.
Stop turning the conversation away from these team comps.
Oh,
Deficio.
no, I'm
they,
sure.
they are so kiteable, this Udyr and this Vladimir, and if Fnatic just just walks backwards. There's no engage really from CLG.
I mean, so looking from CLG's point of view, there are two things I think they're looking at. One, you obviously have a free lane for your Vladimir to scale up. He's still going to need time to scale. But once he becomes level 11, basically, he can just instant push that lane over and over and over and over and over. And then I'm looking at them, honestly, using his home guard TP as the way to flank and avoid that instant disengage from Fnatic. But it's so hard to execute in a fight that I wonder if CLG can actually pull it off.
Yeah,
like, that's the issue.
You have Braum, you have Gragas, you even have this Rammus. All Rammus has to do is walk up to him during that flank and just taunt him while the rest of the team backs off. And there's your disengage just absolutely shattered. I think they didn't expect what Fnatic was throwing at them, which was this Rammus, and it denied a lot of the possible last picks that Darshan likes to play. I mean, you can't play Jax into that, so it leaves you with very few options.
Strange level 1, level 2 in the bottom lane. CLG apparently not expecting Fnatic to do a camp level 1. So actually walked straight into lane and started pushing it back and was really far up the lane. And then Fnatic has done the Crocs and then go in and you just kill a few minions, you get level 2. And obviously CLG has to now wait for the wave. Nothing really came out of it. And now CLG is gonna be able to farm, sitting pretty far back.
A little bit of an extra, a little bit of a weird start there. I like when you watch Udyr run around, he kind of like waves his arm behind him as if like that's kind of a balancing thing. Meanwhile, gank up in the top lane. Darshan has to burn that flash. Gamsu still coming in. That's right. Spirit comes in for the body slam as well. Teleport being used by Huhi. There he is. Slow with the glitter lance onto Spirit. Spirit on the run now. And remember, he's got no flash from the level 1. Able to get out with the body slam, but you got to be careful.
I do not like a teleport like this, because now you set yourself super far behind in your own lane, because the wave is going to push into tower. You're going to lose a few CS. That's a lot of experience early on. You also used your global. I mean, he was mainly doing it to defend the Vladimir, but now you're setting yourself behind. He just lost all 3 melee creeps here, so he's now behind in experience.
And Febiven gets a free recall too. And that means more pushing when he comes back. Huhi not going to be able to buy and then TP back into lane. So huge edge now in the mid for Febiven.
And we can just talk about the comp from Fnatic, because when you have Corki, he's going to perma push mid lane over and over and over. Normally, it sets up for your jungler to get in and get a bit of deep vision, and you just constantly have pressure there, but Udyr is a better early game jungler than Gragas, so Xmithie will be able to reply back a little bit. But honestly, you just start using this 4-man, super strong group you have with Fnatic, and then Rammus sitting in the side lane. Move Lucian to side lane first, swap him with Corki if you want to do a 1-3-1 later. There's a lot of good options for Fnatic.
That was an awesome Rammus skin, by the way. Oh, Spirit and Xmithie find each other. Udyr comes in for the bear stance stun, but has to back away. Just a little bit too much damage coming out of that Gragas, and he is kind of behind enemy lines right now. Darshan just TPing back up into that top lane. Did not miss a lot. Attempted gank onto Febiven, but he has no trouble getting out of there on his Corki.
Yeah, he was actually just delaying the collapse right there. There was a very big danger of them coming back in because Ezreal had already recalled. So Afternoon in the right position just to scare the Corki off and get his jungler out after doing a little bit of counter jungling on the enemy side. But you can see that CS gap is really starting to open up between Xmithie and Spirit. The speed of the Phoenix stance, and also the fact that Spirit has been ganking and Xmithie has just been counter jungling.
This is actually why I'm kind of surprised Fnatic didn't opt into a lane swap. I think it's good into Vladimir, first of all. I also think it helps Gragas, because he tends to have an earlier pre-level 6 compared to an Udyr. But if it's a lane swap, you kind of just divide the map and you farm even between junglers, and this problem won't be there because Xmithie can now just run into the jungle and take away farm. Rammus also does well in long lanes with his extra mobility, so I kind of felt like Fnatic would have benefited more from lane swap, but they went for Ignite on Braum, and clearly they want to play aggressive in a 2v2.
Well, I don't mind it. I don't mind the fighting.
Sure.
I mean, we have to look at how this game is going to play out, too, because with that early TP, they did power up Darshan even after responding to that gank. He does have a slight CS lead, but Febiven here, they don't really have an answer to what he's doing right now. He hasn't been able to recall, go back to base yet. They have to figure out how that's going to happen at this point in time and how he's going to get back there with his teleport still down. And now Darshan, really the onus is on him to carry this game. And with a Vladimir, I really didn't like whenever played Vladimir. I really don't like it here either. Sure, you can get that advantage in the laning phase, but transitioning that into a win is so hard these days. There's so many champions that like to build Iceborne Gauntlet, that like to kite. And against double AD carry, it's a challenge.
Yeah, we've seen it before. Back to the 2v2 in bot lane. Spirit, though, lurking near the mid lane, but no chance of a gank onto Hui right now.
But look around this mid lane. This is exactly what we talked about. When you have Corki, you will perma-push that mid lane. That means your jungler gets a free entrance. He has already placed a few wards, cleared away Pink. He finds Xmithy now.
Oh, hi. Xmithy finds Spirit, too.
Yeah, Spirit doesn't
trying to go
wanna
after his
take that.
wolves. Nope, not worth it.
Definitely not a
Udyr
trade.
can slay his own kind. Actually, no, he doesn't turn into a wolf, does he? It's
No.
like one animal that Udyr is not interested in.
It's quite a lot of animals he's not turning into.
Why does it?
Well, in
why
the grand
does,
scheme of things, yeah, I suppose. He doesn't turn into a giraffe either.
Exactly.
He should get that giraffe stance and he can like look over a wall and get vision for a short time.
Yeah, considering he's just summoning the spirits of animals anyway, you think he'd be able to choose.
Yeah.
Why does bear stance make him run faster too?
Dude, bears are really fast over
Haven't
short
you watched the
distances.
latest
Shouldn't he be
movie?
in
You're
cheetah
not
stance?
supposed to run from a bear.
Yes, that's true. But
Yeah.
they're faster animals, is my point.
And also, when a bear hits you, it does stun you in real
Yeah.
life. I've been attacked by a bear.
Have you really?
No, that's a lie.
Oh, okay.
It sounded pretty cool. I also almost won an Oscar for it. Actually, I did win it.
You did? Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. I'm just
Attacked by a bear. What? Wait, this is all sounding very familiar. Flash gets hooked. Reckless comes in for a couple pokes onto Stixay.
Now, I was labeled as Deficio yesterday, so now we're just learning that you're actually Leonardo DiCaprio. We're all just switching identities.
It all makes sense.
You know, downgrade for me, upgrade for you.
I'm just myself.
I'll take it.
Certainly not
I'll
an
take it.
international man of mystery. That's for sure.
All right, so Xmithy's still constantly just stealing away buffs from Spirit. Again, I think this standard lane has to pay off for Fnatic because they're losing
Whoa.
in the jungle.
A lot of damage onto Aftermove. Culling used.
Oh,
Aftermove
nice.
blocks a little bit. Nice play to knock Reckless out of the Culling. Aftermove still taking the damage. Exhaust onto Reckless doesn't stop him from getting that kill. And okay, well, there's an answering kill from CLG. Braum on the run. And he can't run very fast. He can, however, jump pretty well.
Is there a package for Feb event? Nope.
No.
Oh, it's in the base. He hasn't gone
Yep.
back yet for it. I like the trade though. I mean, Braum Lucian is so good at trading early on, especially against an Ezreal. You block so much of the damage, he can't really trade back. Chasing on the tower though ends up being a response. I'm not sure if Reckless could have moved out and avoided the last hit of the tower. He stayed in and delivered 1 or 2 extra shots if we see the replay one more time. So I like the engage. Aftermove gets poked down. You block the Ezreal Q damage and therefore there's no response from Stixay and also level 6 for Reckless. And now let's see on the tower here. Flash is under.
Oops.
Stays, hits. Oh, I think he probably, if he ran away instantly.
It was also the fact that he flashed directly into the hook from Aframu, too. You
That
didn't have
didn't
to
help.
flash it directly in a straight line. You could have actually avoided that entirely. I think that might have been a little bit better. Huhi, although, uses his TP again. And honestly, today, Huhi's teleports have been really unimpressive for the most part. He hasn't been able to make any TP plays with them. He TP'd straight into the bottom lane and couldn't even clean up.
Yeah, very defensive TPs, but that fight still, Reckless didn't even get the kill. Clyde picked up the
Yes.
kill, Stixay got the kill. They're going aggressive again.
Oh, yeah, back in again. Braum knocks up Stixay. Stixay has to use that flash. Aftermove gets the grab on Klaj, and it looks like no kills.
Next Smithy here to defend. Huhi fades back down into that bottom side. Huhi's been able to catch up when it comes to CS, however. And the pressure is less there, going for the Rod of Ages.
Here
And
comes Fevivin. Might be time to deliver the package. He's thinking about it. This package is ready.
Being spotted. Oh, Clyde.
Like gets grabbed, gets pulled under turret.
Oh,
Easy
okay.
kill for CLG. Whoops.
Like, they have seen CLG around this bot side. And obviously they know there have been wards in the river because they also just walked by this pink ward before. Not sure why Clyde expects, like what he wanted to do was just move behind tower and then ward in the tri-bush. But you can't just do that when the enemy team is already there. Super disrespectful, honestly, and he goes down.
Yep. One death for Clyde. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Deshaun getting pushed around by Gamsu just a bit. Pops his ultimate though. Gamsu has to back away, and there's a pretty big minion wave there too. Looks like Darshan should be able to finish off this turret pretty soon.
well, they have to hope that this extra gold income that Darshan can actually pick up from this turret, it's not quite gonna go down.
The turret's got to have like 20 health left or something.
Well, Doa, let me tell you.
Okay, it has 56. I was not close at all.
Bottom lane again, Spirit. Didn't want to flash after. I don't think he was in range to reach it. Oh,
Oh,
that's good.
don't need it. Yep. Wow, nice ult from Spirit. Putting him right in place. Reckless, though, gets caught. Good play from Aframu yet again.
Aframu is absolutely salvaging this laning phase right now. I mean, Stixay has been having a lot of issues, and we're going to see some turret shots onto Darshan right there. And
He's
All right.
fine, he's fine. He can heal it back.
He had to flash. You call that fine Deficio?
He got the tower. I liked it. Okay, a little bit too aggressive maybe, but like...
Couldn't he have just
still,
autoed it before he took 3 shots from it?
He could also just gotten in on the next wave, but the point is for CLG...
And no, he was taunted.
Oh, well, never mind.
The fact that CLG
right.
is going even in bot lane just makes the entire Fnatic early game fall apart, because it was supposed to be surrender top lane, because Vladimir is going to win, but then bully the bottom lane, and we mirror basically what CLG is doing. They take top tower, we take bot tower. Reckless dying twice now, basically to Aphromoo alone. Has made that lane even, bot tower is still alive, and now CLG has a big advantage from the early game.
Yeah.
It's just about taking the incremental advantages instead of getting greedy. They could have actually just chased them off the turret, and now we have a 4-man stack in the mid lane, and no one there to defend.
They're going to get that turret. Mid lane turret easily taken by CLG. And that's going to be their second of the game already. No turrets at all in this game for Fnatic so far.
I mean, now we're talking about a 3,500 gold lead here at 12 minutes. CLG just playing the map better, and this is what they've proved they can do. You know, we have
almost just playing the lanes better is the big thing here. Fnatic trusting so much in Reckless and Clyde together, definitely not paying off. You know that Vladimir is going to win top lane. I still think a lane swap would have been way better also to shut down Xmithie and just make Gragas and him trade even in farm instead of having this big difference now.
Well, Stixxay not able to stick around long enough to get that Gromp. Has to back off. What's Udyr thinking exactly? As we see Fnatic take this dragon more or less unopposed.
Right now.
I mean, he puts feathers on his arms, then he shoots fire at things.
Yeah, shouldn't Phoenix Stance revive him from the dead?
You'd think so, yeah.
Kind of Phoenix breathed fire.
Phoenix's rise
Dragon
from the
Stance, maybe?
No.
Maybe just rubs.
Dragon Stance. That's
just rubs dead phoenixes on his arms, then he just like shoots out the fire as they come back.
Phoenixes don't shoot fire. They're a mythical bird that when they die, they burst into flames and rise from the ashes.
So he must have dead phoenix ashes on his hands, and he's just like flicking his hands forward right as the phoenixes come back. That's where the fire comes from.
Pretty brutal.
Obviously.
Let's see. TP bot lane.
Here we go. And they're going to try to take out Stixxay. Takes a ride out on the Lantern, though. CLG turning this one around with a teleport. He comes in. Darshan joins the party as well. And Clyde caught and killed. Meanwhile, Reckless has to jump over the wall as Xmithie continues to chase. Darshan, though, not able to quite catch these guys. But, you know, another attempted gank from Fnatic and another turnaround from CLG.
Fnatic right now just have so many tools to kind of react to what Fnatic is doing. Rammus TP's in. Okay, you got a Lantern from Thresh. Aphromoo even flashed after to make sure Stixxay got really far away from that teleport. And then you have double TP yourself and you just turn it around because you are so much stronger at the moment. This entire strategy from Fnatic is kind of falling apart.
Run. He's got to get out of here, but I don't know if he can. Turns around. Wild Growth gets the slow as well for the moment. It's going aggressive now. I don't know if you want to do that, Huhi. That's a lot of damage coming out of that Corki. Yeah.
I mean, there's no mana on Spirit or
I guess, but
or Fevivin, so
it's awkward.
He knows what his limits are in that situation. We're gonna take a look at this one again.
Yep. They are going for Stixxay. Just gets over the wall immediately.
I really like the play from Aphromoo, just flashing out with the Lantern, and then now you can always counter engage. Fevivin is still moving from mid. He has no teleport, obviously, and it's just a super easy pickup. And like, if you fight like this, Vladimir will not get kited away because Fnatic use their engages, which is part of their disengage basically, to start the fight. Then Vladimir joins in when the Braum ulti and the Gragas ulti is gone.
Yeah, especially that Gragas ultimate, which was used for basically nothing in that fight, given that Lantern was taken by Stixxay nearly immediately and it wasn't even placed properly in the first place over the wall. And that does allow Vlad to get right in there and start dealing some damage. Spirit really lagging behind in the jungle matchup too. It's just a huge amount of CS at 15 minutes. To be down to 21 in the jungle at 15 is pretty darn brutal.
One full level down as well, but again, it's what Udyr does. He's so good at fast clearing. He can move into your jungle. He can quickly disengage from it with the extra movement speed. We talked about the bear apparently running super fast. And with Fnatic not winning that 2v2 bot lane harder than they did, 10 CS up, that's about it.
Seems like a, whoa, nice grab onto Reckless. Takes a bit of damage. Aphromoo overall has looked pretty good today.
Guys look great.
Even in their loss against SK Telecom, Aphromoo was playing really well.
He was the only one making plays on their team against SK Telecom, really.
Very true. Xmithie gets chased out of Tribrush. Goes right back in again, though. takes a lot of damage, gets stunned up. And Smithy in big trouble, gets the wild growth though, stays alive for now. And now Cly in trouble, gets destroyed yet again. Spirit into the Dragon Pit, had to burn that flash. Meanwhile, Darshan getting chased out of lane for the moment by Gamsu, but shouldn't really matter too much in the long run. But it really just seems like this entire game has been CLG responding well to things Fnatic has been trying to do, you know?
Yeah.
And getting more out of it.
And just let your Vladimir farm top lane basically. Oh, Smithy.
Oh, it's okay. He's got the Lantern anytime he wants.
Well, they're just faster on the uptake. They're pressuring these objectives and just out-rotating Fnatic. Fevivin has just not been there this game at all. He's 0-0-0. He lost his CS lead in the mid lane. And at the very least, he could have been able to push down this tower in the mid lane with all of the TPs and roaming that who he has done, but they're just reacting so slowly to what CLG's trying to do.
So I just went back on my screen to see Febiven's way of moving on the map before the fight even started. And he's actually just pushing out his lane. He's kind of running a bit towards the top side. Then he looks into the jungle very quickly, goes back to mid lane, while Huhi instant pushes wave and just runs. So as soon as he sees the fight start, he's already running. And therefore he's always joining first, able to save the fight with the ulti from Lulu. And yes, he might have fallen behind earlier in the game. He's made up for it now because he's getting assists. He's actually ahead in farm at this point. Febiven has had zero impact on this Corki pick in mid lane other than just pushing in and allowing Spirit once to invade the enemy jungle.
And they're not playing around the pressure either. We're talking about Lucian Corki. This is some great siege that they've got going on here, but instead of actually setting up for siege, they've been trying to make these TP tower dives instead.
Hasn't been working at all. And so if you're Fnatic, you know, how do you adjust? What do you do?
I mean, at this point, so it's always an issue when you fall this far behind early on because the amount of plays you can make just gets fewer and fewer. Huhi
knocks Huhi back. Reckless is right there. Wild growth
Lantern
onto Lulu. Aphromoo trying to save him. He actually gets him out. True shot barrage just to zone Fnatic a bit more, but another great save from Aphromoo.
I think there was an opportunity to stand on that Lantern right there, especially from Gragas if he could have gotten around, but a little bit hard to tell. However, it's another play that Aphromoo been making.
Remember, you can still click it if you... I don't remember what the button is called, but you can ignore champions, basically.
The
then
tilde.
you're still able. The tilter.
Tilde.
And then you can still...
There's no tilt
The
button.
tilter?
I like the tilter
think
button.
some people might have that button,
tilter,
actually.
Yeah,
That's,
there we go.
yeah.
And incoming tilt. It was a good play by Fnatic, though. They pushed up bot lane, walked into the jungle, and actually invaded on Huhi. Not Huhi quite yet.
You mean he's going to be Huhi eventually?
Maybe he evolves into him. I'm not too sure.
They're like Pokemon. Huhi. His first form is Huhi, and he eventually evolves into Huhi. CLG's just pressed B on him a couple times to make sure he didn't evolve yet.
The question is, what's the next evolution? Hurizard?
The question is,
you gotta stop
who's
somewhere.
breeding
You
these
can't
Pokemon?
keep evolving up and up.
CLG going for their first dragon of the game. Looks like they should be able to get it.
Not
Gotta
really
catch them all.
anything Fnatic can do. They had the one play pushing up bot lane, which again was the whole goal of this competition by picking standard lanes, bully out the bot lane, take that tower, and then use that to set up the siege after by moving Reckless mid and Cly every time. But it's just been completely destroyed by Aphromoo, hooking in Reckless twice now, getting these kills. And then just some poor fights from Fnatic after, getting a little bit too aggressive.
Well, their one advantage in the early game, too, that they got from Huhi actually TPing, they never played around. They never did anything about it. They tried to make plays on the side lanes instead of plays on mid, and they couldn't actually snowball that edge.
The problem is also just like grouping mid too early is just so difficult, because at that point, the wave clear from Lulu is decent. As long as you can meet the wave early, you just need double Lulu lands and it's down, and the damage you deal to the tower is probably not enough. It takes too long to like chip it down, and then you share farm between Febiven and Reckless, and Fnatic doesn't want to do that. So they almost feel forced to like keep making plays in side lanes. Double TP to react though, and Huhi always moving first. Just counterplayed it completely.
I can't believe that this top turret is still taking nearly no damage this game. 20 minutes in, look at that.
Lane.
That's pretty amazing.
Oh, I was hoping there'd be a fight there.
Me too, I was waiting for it. I was building the suspense by not talking, but oh well. Well, trying to do some damage to that turret now. Getting a little bit done, but CLG not having too much of a problem defending. Gamsu comes in, pops that ult, doing stuff to Darshan, Aftermove with another grab onto Cly. He's going to flash away. Cly's just terrified right now. Ult to disengage. Xmithy comes in. Stixxay takes quite a bit. Here comes Fevivin. A lot of damage on that Corki. Ult used to knock Stixxay back. Didn't quite get what they wanted there. Cly goes down. He grabs that kill there. Fevivin in a little bit of trouble. Gets knocked up. And the rest of CLG just methodically chasing down Fnatic. Fevivin falls to Stixxay. And now Spirit, the last one involved on their run. Reckless far, far away. Aftermu uses the Lantern to bring Huhi, and they're going to still try to catch these guys. Slow under Reckless via that Glitter Lance from Huhi, and they're going to dive this one, it looks like. This is a bit risky. Flash from Reckless. Huhi's just going for it, though. There we go. Finally got the kill. It was worth it. Lulu.
And that was the 4v4 that was supposed to be stronger for Fnatic when they take these fights, surrendering the early game with the Ramos into Vladimir. But as you see, at this point, also Fnatic kind of overstaying. Let's see the fight.
Yeah, it started out with Aftermu getting a little bit caught here, but just again, you know, another great response to the initial engage from Fnatic.
This is bad by Stixxay. He should never jump forward here. His damage is not relevant in this case to actually take them down. But then Fnatic does exactly the same, rushing forward as well when Stixxay is actually already safe.
He had his Summoner heal too, and Spirit tossed out the cask after the Summoner heal had been used. There was no chance that he was actually going to be able to deal enough damage to take him out of that fight. So instead of using the crowd control, they try and use it basically for damage, and that is a very key ultimate in this engagement. And then it's just the chase down after that, getting Glitter Lance after Glitter Lance.
On the Lord.
Well, smart by Aftermu too to pull Huhi over because he knew that Lulu would be able to chase down the Lucian.
We just see too many mechanical misplays, honestly, from Fnatic.
Yeah.
In like every early trade, every early fight, and then you just get punished completely. Blue build Ezreal, fully stacked tier, Iceborne going to QSS. I mean, Stixxay is super strong at this point.
Oh boy, Xmithy walks into a bunch of Fnatic members, gets out on the Lantern though. Aftermu is always there to help. Oh, here comes super fast Gamsu. Gets flayed away immediately though.
And just give MVP to Aftermu, by the way.
Yeah,
From this
yeah,
game.
no kidding.
On everything. Literally winning the bot lane, and then Lantern, everything. Every time Fnatic tries to catch someone, Lantern is there.
Yeah, it's been really good.
And a minion as well.
Yeah,
Shooting up
that
for you.
minion did not stand a chance. Seriously though, Aftermu has just been playing out of his mind today.
Xmithy has just comprehensively out-farmed Spirit too. There hasn't been anything that has stopped him from just running around the enemy jungle. They're going to try and engage right now. Gamsu rolling in.
Gotta go fast. Meanwhile,
Desperation, though.
yeah, down in the bottom lane, Darshan pushing that tier 2. And pretty much unopposed here. Two-shot barrage, blocked by Cly. CLG though still not coming anywhere close to losing that turret. And Xmithy, like, he turns on the speed and nobody wants to be anywhere near that Udyr. There goes the tier 2. And CLG, it's hard to be more in control of a game than they are right now.
And at this point, I mean, this play here from Fnatic, even though it obviously doesn't end in anything, it's not what's losing them the game, it's obviously way before. They feel like, okay, just go 5, try and like taunt someone and kill him and take a tower. Because we have no TP now, so we can't sit in the side lane. Vladimir is just gonna push it in and TP away if needed. It just makes it literally impossible when your entire early game strategy was take standard lanes and win bot lane.
Yeah.
Well, they got the take standard lanes part anyway.
They did.
They succeeded.
Well done.
In that part. Step 1 complete. We're working on step 2.
You opened the quest,
For
you
next
read
game.
the quest, you just didn't complete it.
That's right. You accepted the quest.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the frustrating things too, because even though I very much dislike CLG's draft here, Darshan did play the lane well. He won the matchup he was supposed to win. And because CLG has simply been together and played as a team better, been there faster, been there first, it doesn't really matter what the team composition is, because pretty much CLG has had a man advantage this entire time, and Spirit is just caught out in the enemy jungle.
Well, going through the mid turret, uses his ult to try to disengage. Xmithy zoning as the rest of CLG chases him down.
Ran by him.
Yep. They're like, ah, you're on your own now, man. Baron's like, ah, you guys again. And someday, this Gragas will die. Maybe not today.
Execute.
At some point, he will. Remember, two-shot barrage is on cooldown right now. Great Gragas chase, 2016.
Should have gone into his. He should have gone into the tower way before.
He actually has not been hit by anything yet.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
he doesn't need to die,
there
though.
we go.
He actually used the W to stay alive.
Oh, he's going to die now. Yep, there we go. Stixxay finally gets him.
He used his W to take less damage.
I don't know. I don't get it. He could have probably gotten himself executed. Might have had to dodge a Q.
Still Fnatic not able to do anything on the map, so CLG could actually chase for another 2 minutes if they wanted to,
Obviously.
and would have been great
Glad,
play-by-play for 2 minutes of chasing.
I was really hoping we'd see that. Xmithy, can he get to the lantern in time? Yep, he can. He's got bear claws. They can grab that lantern really easy.
Are bear claws
Just
good
hook it
for
around the edges of the lantern.
objects?
I don't
Well, no, you hook it into
grabbing
the...
anything.
If you look at Thresh's lantern, all right, it's got like a bunch of metal bars on it, so you can just hook your claws in there. Take a ride out.
Into metal.
No, around the metal.
Oh.
Yeah, the claws are intertwined with the metal.
I think Udyr has been an interesting pick this game.
I mean, it's worked.
Because, again, he got basically the perfect setup.
Yeah.
He could just invade into the Gragas over and over and over and take his stuff right in front of him.
So mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do. He's a school bully, man.
I guess so.
Take your lunch money.
Believe
Probably take your
nature.
lunch as well if you ever get any lunch. He steals everything.
Wow.
You talk about bullies a lot, Martin. Do you have some issues?
Ever since I met you, Monte Cristo, I felt bullied.
I think a lot of people in the lawsuit have that feeling about Monte Cristo. That's true. We've got a close-up of the lantern now.
I'm going to go join
Clearly, you
Freakazoid
can
and
see
some seminars.
Oh, there we go. I'm glad you guys missed it. We had a close-up of the lantern and Udyr grabbing it. I clearly saw the claws reach into the grid work in the little windows. I think I feel vindicated about now.
Okay. Well,
In fact, I know I feel vindicated about
if we're
now.
going to go with that, you have to admit that Quinn flaps.
No, well, that's if we can get a close-up slow motion of Quinn flying around. We will see forever that she does not flap. Although I think Reddit already discovered this. Proved me right yet again. Thank you, our top-notch production queue, for providing that up-close look at
Showing it.
how I'm right.
That is an owl.
Oh, there it is. That's an owl. See, Udyr could really get his claws into that, too, I think.
See, that one I would believe.
Yeah?
That would be a lot easier.
Did you know that bears and
grab an
owls
owl.
are natural enemies?
That's right. I've heard that.
Not sure how that started.
I mean, the bear climbs a tree, and the owl's like, what are you doing here? Bear's
And then
like,
the owl decided to attack him instead of just finding another tree.
It's like, I'm actually Udyr. I was a phoenix seconds ago, but now I'm a bear. I have trouble deciding on things.
Oh, look at the TP. Rammus home guard.
Yeah, that's right. Spirit engaging with Xmithy on the side. Here comes Rammus getting in there. Flash onto Who. He gets the taunt. There's the ultimate. Who he trying to get to the lantern, but he doesn't have bear claws. He can't get out. A kill for Gamsu, and they're chasing CLG down right now. Spirit trying to get in there. Can't quite do it. Slow on to Aframu. Fnatic still trying to get some more kills. Rammus trying to get their Aframu out onto the Baron, but right into Febivin. Meanwhile, Xmithy's zoning. CLG on the run, and actually an inhibitor taken out by the minions down in bot lane, along with Darshan. I suppose he helped a little bit too. And CLG really just kind of delaying Fnatic now from defending their own base.
Yeah, but are they actually going to be able to get a Baron off of this is going to be the question. Aframu's still on the run here. Reckless just chasing around. And no one is stopping. They're going to get an inhib or a Nexus turret too.
Wow.
Darshan just left there as CLG splits up and runs in all directions on the top side to delay that. And this is looking a lot like their win versus Immortals.
You know, the hilarious thing is that Aframu, as we see Stixay trying to run a raid, Darshan is there.
Oh, he's in the game? I didn't even see him.
He is. What do you know? He's a vampire. You're not supposed to see him. I'm sorry, Hemomancer. Who he getting very, very low. Trishot Barrage comes through. Meanwhile, Darshan grabs a kill onto Kai down in bot lane. Interesting. This game has gotten a little bit silly, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Well, Fnatic trying some crazy calls with the home guard Rammus. Problem is, you're so far behind that it's almost impossible to take the fight. And
also, you're trying to run around and track down an Ezreal, a Lulu, and an Udyr, all of which can have, you know, a lot of movement speed tacked onto them.
Let's watch a replay. This great fight.
It's the second fight we get.
Nice TP Hui.
Gamsu just sort of accidentally bumping into Hui in the bottom side.
Didn't expect to find the Lulu there. Darshan got the kill. That was worth it.
It's just fun because CLG won that early game. The Vladimir has never had to join a fight except for this last replay where he picked up a kill.
Yeah.
He was just always just split push, split push, split push because the remaining 4 members were winning against Fnatic anyway.
He's 2,200 gold up just from split pushing this game, of course.
Wow.
Kills now padding that total. Fnatic this is true desperation here. Here we go.
Yeah. They're going to try to make another pick onto Huhi, but after move, of course, he's there with the Lantern. I feel like this is the kind of the time where like the spirits of the Fnatic players' ancestors whisper up to them and they say, hide in a bush. But so far, they're not listening. They do get the mid lane turret though, finally. Darshan still pressuring that bottom lane.
Oh, the flank mid lane. Here we go.
Yeah, here comes Udyr. There goes Udyr.
Oh.
Here, Udyr's waiting. Oh, here comes, nope, never mind. I give up.
Well, they shouldn't actually be engaging this, though. CLG just wants to play with this Baron while Darshan can't be stopped, and that's going to prompt a 5-man collapse. It will be smelled out, though. The wards are there to see it.
They are giving up Baron to kill Darshan. You just ults. Yes,
This
you
is
have
for next
successfully
game, by the
killed
way.
Darshan.
They're trying to tilt him for the next game because they know this one is going to be almost impossible.
They're trying to find the tilt key on his keyboard.
Go and click it.
That's right.
Tilt.
Reckless just runs over there real quick. Well, CLG gets the Baron. Darshan does not. Probably won't tilt him, though. He'll be okay.
It is actually important that he didn't get it. That is going to at least limit their ability to close this game. But not by a whole lot.
Nope.
We're going to have to see, basically, Fnatic trying to push our bot lane super quick, and then just TP home guard again with Gamzu, and you just have to one-shot the first target. Almost has to be Lulu, because there's QSS on the Ezreal, so you have to like flash taunt Lulu and just one-shot her.
And hope that she will have absolutely no opportunities to cast Wild Growth on herself.
Yeah, you got to chain CC, so we got to Ramos taunt into knock up from the Braum into his stun. Braga's body slamming and then knocking her back so she's flying in the air.
Keep going.
And then you kill her, and obviously the rest of CLG is doing nothing at the same time.
Okay, I see it.
And then you win.
I can see that working.
Hey, Defish, I have a question for you.
Tell me, Monty.
Have you seen the package used at all this game?
That's a good point.
I have not.
The package.
I think this might be a central problem.
He went
package has
bot
been
lane
absent.
when they were setting up that play where Clyde walked into the tri-bush and died, and he had the package. But they were obviously spotted going through the river, and CLG were kind of waiting.
Oh, TP.
There we go. Where's
Coming
the
in.
Lulu?
Gamzu.
That's
Flash
the
onto the Lulu. Going onto Huhi. They get the CC. The Deficio dream comes true.
Right there.
You called that one. I'll give it to you.
The question is now, what can they do with this? There's a huge minion wave in the bottom side. They're also split pushing in the top lane, so...
And they can't do this for another 5-6 minutes, so that's kind of another problem, but it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good.
There's a big wave pushing in top as well.
That's time for some milling around.
Yep. Udyr's just going to chill out in the mid lane. He's going turtle stance. Darshan, I don't want to say caught, but he's been caught, and he will be killed. He gets his ult off right at the end, though, but it's not going to be a ton of damage. The inhibitor's back in bot lane for Fnatic.
It's actually a really good time for Fnatic to actually do something in this game. If they can keep that inhibitor up, then they'll be in good shape now that Darshan is dead to actually make a push. They have a lot of time to work with. 40 seconds.
That's going to be another dragon for CLG. That's number 3.
Problem is you're so far back on the map, so I feel like CLG is kind of saying, all right, that was the one play Fnatic could make. Just wait for that TP timer, and before it's even up, we can just push down with Vladimir again in a side lane. All right, let's see. Look at this chain CC.
This is what Deficio dreams about at night. Here
Flash,
he comes.
boom.
Yeah.
And then the body slam here to knock him up as well.
Beautiful, beautiful.
We didn't get the Braum. It's fine. Didn't need it.
Had to use 2 flashes for that and the TP.
Hashtag worth. CLG pushing down the mid lane now. Still got that Baron buff on a few people. Smithy trying to hand that blue buff over to somebody who is not on Fnatic. Ideally, maybe just himself. Yep.
Selfish.
Needs it to change stances more. It's not really stance. It's more a state of
got the red buff.
Yeah.
No, Fabian got it, I think. No?
No, I don't think so.
Gamzu got it.
Gamzu picked it up.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna have to see now just a flank from him instead of the teleport. So he has to hide in a bush somewhere with the pink ward, most likely. Maybe the one at Raptor, even though they don't have a pink, and just wait for CLG to push up. I'm still kind of putting up scenarios where Fnatic will get a kill. Sadly, not a whole lot else because every lane is pushed down.
You've been right so far. They have gotten kills with your scenarios.
One for one.
Oh, Smithy having to dodge that barrel.
You can't kill the Udyr.
No, I don't think so. He's pretty tanky at this point. Going for that Glacial Shroud now, it looks like.
Yeah, he's just full tank, running around, being
Yep.
super annoying, extra movement speed.
Putting down the portals.
He just had such a perfect game because he just got to farm and farm and farm and stand lanes against a weaker early game jungler.
Right.
Oh, they did no damage.
No, I don't think it will. Where is his route portal right now?
He hasn't placed it.
Oh yeah, he needs to put it down.
He's deciding. He's choosing the prime location, though.
I mean, he wants
I
it
think
towards
bot
the
lane is
bottom
good.
lane, yeah.
Yeah.
You want a bot lane.
Put the portal in the bot lane.
Unless you want to get an inhib tower with it, but you kind of want it where the Rammus is because he's obviously a lot weaker. Killing the small voidlings. Let's see though. CLG is playing it pretty safe. This does give time for Gamsu to get his teleport back.
It's true. So theoretically, we could see another great pick onto Uhi.
Xmithy now with over 100 CS above his jungle opponent. A rare sight out of the jungle.
Yeah, we've seen players like Crash do that in Korea on Nidalee, but you don't see that a lot really anywhere. Korea or otherwise.
It must be fun being a jungler when technically the entire map is just yours. Like there is actually
Yeah, I
no
guess.
camps that belongs to Spirit. You can just take everything. He doesn't even clear his own jungle anymore because he doesn't need to.
He can clear that if he ever feels like it.
Yeah, now he does. He gets it.
Yep.
Look at that farming.
Get some quality ward gold.
Yeah. I thought you said ward gold for a second. I'm like, he's not building any wards.
So look
Buying
at the
any
next
wards.
game, boys, because we're kind of just waiting for another TP flank from Gamsu as the only solution for Fnatic, and then into a Baron, potentially. But like next game for Fnatic.
They're going in onto Xmithy. It's a 2v1 right now. He's walking casually away from it, though. Stixay over the wall. Now Clyde could be in trouble. Hook after the flash comes in. That's one for CLG. Baron up in 52 seconds, but if CLG gets another kill or two, they might be able to just end this one. Xmithy really wants it coming in. Flash hook from Aphromu. This guy is insane today. Throws down to box Spirit. Ults. Can he get away? Maybe. No, not quite. Xmithy gets the kill, and now Stixay over the wall with that Ezreal. 2 kills. We'll see what CLG can do with it.
This.
Darshan split pushes in the bottom lane.
Gonna throw some blood in it.
Takes a long time to throw blood at a building to knock it over.
That's a weird way
Don't
of
try this
throwing.
at home.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
you don't throw
mess.
like that. That's the problem.
oh, nice hook on Febiven going in yet again. There's a Whimsy preventing him from getting away with that Valkyrie. Xmithy low health, but he doesn't care. He's a bear. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Darshan still poking away at that bottom inhibitor. CLG taking the middle one. I think they might be ready to end this one. Yep, Fly comes back just in time to ult. And can they have any sort of follow-up? Doesn't really look like it. Another couple kills come in for CLG. Gamsu, the last one standing, the last one to fall eventually because he's Rammus. There we go. Double kill for Stixay, and that should do it. CLG finally finding the, I guess you could say, reverse picks to come in and end the game. That's game 1. GG. Well,
I mean,
how
that
about
early
that?
game by Fnatic. When you take standard lanes with Udyr in the game, who's going to outfarm your jungler, with Vladimir, who's going to outfarm your top laner, and you then don't win that 2v2,
Yeah.
basically everything then falls apart for you. And Febiven had absolutely zero impact with this Corki in mid and just getting a small CS lead early on. And that was it.
Well, they don't play around the Corki whatsoever. They don't play to Corki's strengths or his pressure that he had. He didn't use the package to try and affect the game in any meaningful way. Just poor Corki play, honestly. I wanted them to play the Corki Deficio, but I regret it now.
I mean, it was just honestly a poor performance from Fnatic.
Well, we'll see if they can tighten things up a little bit for game 2. But before that happens, let's send it over to the expert desk to have that one broken down a little bit more.
Thank you very much. That is the plan indeed. And Aphromu 1v9, put all his CLG on his back. I mean, what a standout performance from Aphromu in that bottle lane. Mythy, what did you think of how he kept Fnatic at bay the entire time?
Yeah, Fnatic was trying really hard to get engages, get things going. Even the bottom lane 2v2s, you know, they screwed up the Gromp. They couldn't get it because it reset, and they still managed to go equal in my opinion, losing matchup bottom lane. Actually, they even came out ahead because they traded 1-for-1, but the Ezreal got the kill and the Brown got the first blood, I think it was.
Yep.
So overall, I think standout performance from Aframu. I wouldn't really say 1v9, but close. It was
Hey,
close. It was
as a
close.
shoutcaster here, I'm allowed to like get excited. We've got a replay that I want to pull up on your screen. And Dexter, talk me through this. One of these plays, it really sort of summarized the early game. Fnatic trying to initiate on CLG and Aframu just doing the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, the play is really good here right now, the idea. The TP set is up, and then the engagement sticks away, but he flashes over, and then the lantern flash is like really, really good to just get position, and the TPs come in, and then they collapse, and I think overall, yeah, Aframu just enabled this play like really good and reacted pretty well, and that's why CLG came out ahead in that play.
I mean, is this just a mechanical difference? Because Fnatic really tried to go aggressive in that 2v2. They teleports, they had ganks, they initiated, but executed poorly or executed well from Aframu to dodge?
Both, I would say. It's a mixture of both, a mixture of, I wouldn't call it luck, but just mistiming, but even the smallest second. Because I think that Gragasol could have maybe interrupted the lantern, you know? So the way I see it is just, it was a bit unlucky.
Yeah.
I don't like using that word, but it truly was. But even then, I think it was unlucky because their bot lane put up, the CLG bot lane just put up a really good performance, and props to them.
Now, Dexter, talk to me about this Vladimir and this Rammus pick, because we have the standard lanes. I don't feel like Rammus really did anything.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Rammus right now because what he does in solo queue is just, he's like unkillable, but in competitive play, it's just, if you blind pick a Rammus, there's like no plan, right? He's like a weak laner, but he has like a good impact with TPs and everything. But I just feel that the Vladimir was actually like a really good response to that because Vladimir just split pushed him and he had like no pressure. And the way actually CLG played was just like, yeah, we're gonna split push you to death. And even if they got like a catch or something, they couldn't make anything happen. And Fnatic as a whole just like played so reactively. They didn't do anything proactive. And like the broadcaster said already that, yeah, the Corki wasn't used at all properly, I think. And just only reaction, but I think Spirit played really well though. Like the first 15 minutes, he played like really well and kept like Fnatic in the game because I think otherwise it would have been over a lot faster.
Yeah.
I thought that Ramos was gonna actually lose the 1v1, but I think he was doing very fine until 25 minutes when Vladimir had 2.5 items. Then it became a problem. But before that, Ramos was doing completely fine, and I was a bit surprised because of that. I was also even more surprised that Fnatic didn't decide to play a fast-paced game and lane swap against a Vladimir. When you have a Ramos, you can open up the map, have long lanes where you can TP to instead of just having this straight-up 1v1, 2v2, which creates a much slower game and just didn't really benefit Fnatic in any sense. They had Lulu, they had Estro, they had Vladimir, they had full scaling champs, and there was, in my opinion, no reason for them not to just early invade level 1 and force a lane swap unless they were afraid of the
Let's pull up a second replay because maybe it'll give some insight into why they didn't opt to do something like that, because it's one of the many times a Fnatic, tried to accomplish something. Roll the clip out. And I just want to mention, first of all, that Clyde's going to eat this death sentence. Xmithy's nearby. And then Fnatic, they throw everything to try and save Reckless and Clyde, and it backfires. Dexter, how do you react to this? Because it kind of looked like there was a bait from Fnatic.
I mean, yeah, the idea was probably good again, but like I said, it just too many mistakes, and then they re-engage a fight when they shouldn't. They should just back off and just reset. And I think they just, yeah, Fnatic just reacted like poorly, I think, to that everything. They should just back out and farm or create pressure on the other side, because if you look at the Ramos actually right now, he's just like TPing back to base, and it's like a one-on-one. There's like no TP pressure.
Yeah.
And like we said already before, the 4-man squad from CLG is a lot better, and they have like this mobility with the Lulu and the front line with the Udyr. So I don't know. I think they just should have played on the other side of the map.
By this point in the game, CLG were about 2,000 or 3,000 gold ahead. I leaned over to you and I said, do you want to talk about this post-game? And Mithy, you actually went, yeah, that's pretty much game over. Like, there's no way for Fnatic to bounce back. After you watch the replay and you see how the game played out, is it what you expected? I mean, could Fnatic have done anything different?
I just expected Fnatic to lane swap. I thought that CLG had the tools to 1v1, 2v2 properly. They could stall the game out in 1v1, 2v2, play a 30-minute game, which is basically what you were welcoming when you're playing Lulu, and everything just fit into pieces for CLG, and especially the fact that they didn't even lose bottom at all. It was just perfect game for them.
Yeah,
perfect
it really was. So congratulations to CLG. They go 1-0 up in this best of 3. We're going to go to an ad break, and when we return, we'll break down picks and bans for game number 2.